cannot call me a guy. I am straight. I have nothing against LGBTQI, but I am very straight. My husband is a man and I'm a woman. Don't call me a guy, please.
All right, I apologize.
I want to say that my good friend Honorable Ichung'wah must tell us whether he's also of the LGBTQ community because of his preoccupation with Uhuru Kenyatta. That guy is a man, bwana. Don't be too preoccupied with Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm a woman, bwana. Hey, nikitu gani wewe?
I can refer to him again, Honorable Raila, as a street robber who is causing problems in this country.
Mr. Speaker, I want to say that Article 1 of the Constitution of Kenya says all sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be exercised only in accordance with the Constitution. And Article 1(2) says the people may exercise their sovereign power either directly or through elected representative. And Mr. Speaker, one of the members who was speaking, my dear friend who I interrupted as she was speaking, was saying that we speak here and we should not speak outside and we should not let our representatives speak. I want to educate her that Article 1(2) of the Constitution gives that right, that we can exercise our mandate directly. And when we demonstrate, we are exercising it directly. So we cannot be having tyranny in the house. We can also have tyranny outside the house. Mr. Speaker, I also just want to say that Article 37, and I want to agree with members across the divide, and I want to thank Honorable Muya for speaking very soberly and saying that Article 37 allows for picketing and peaceful picketing. And I want to say both our side and their side are saying the same language. Let us have picketing, which is allowed under Article 37, with no condition, because the Constitution does not give condition, except peaceable picketing. And Mr. Speaker, in peaceable picketing, the mandate lies with the police. The citizen of Kenya does not have arms. Mr. Speaker, those who maintain peace and order are the police. Mr. Speaker, I also want to say that those who are killed, as we have heard from the boy who was killed in Maseno, was killed by the police. And I also want to add that when the business community restrained from doing their business, they restrained from doing their business because of fear-mongering by people like my good friend, who I don't want to mention lest he can stay a point of order. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that those who close their businesses close because of fear-mongering. And we know my friend who does fear-mongering. Mr. Speaker, because I know other members want to speak, I want to say this. I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving this House direction, that it is actually wrong for us to be mentioning other people who are not here and calling them names, like regrettably my good friend Honorable Ichung'wah called Honorable Raila an urban terrorist. Mr. Speaker, if it weren't for your order, I could also have called Honorable Ruto national terrorist. But because of your order, I'm not calling him a national terrorist, Mr. Speaker. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that my good friend Honorable Ichung'wah must tell us whether he's also of the LGBTQ community because of his preoccupation with Uhuru Kenyatta. That guy is a man, bwana. Don't be too preoccupied with Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta.
Order.
I'm a woman, bwana. Hey, nikitu gani wewe?
Honorable Mlly Adhiambo. Honorable Mlly Adhiambo. Order. You cannot discuss the conduct of Honorable Ichung'wah without a substantive motion. So you're out of order on that. Order. Come. Honorable Ichung'wah, if we desist, order. If we desist, order. Honorable Mbaya, when the chair is on his feet. Order. I mean, we want to have a situation in which everybody is heard in silence. Whether you don't like it, whether it's outrageous, whatever it is, unless it's absolutely out of the order, or the orderly running of the business of the House, just wait. When you get your moment, rebut. You know what I mean? You get your moment, you can then say the counter and give you a counter argument. But if you keep on saying order, point of order, Mlly. Can we, Can we have the next speaker, Honorable Kalasinga? Order. Are you on a point of order, Mlly? Is it absolutely necessary? Okay, proceed, Honorable Ichungwa.
First, Honorable Speaker, let me thank you for protecting me, because the Honorable Mlly was on the verge now of discussing me without a substantive motion. But more importantly, Honorable Speaker, it is important to point out, and maybe she was not listening to what I said, because if you listen to what I said at the beginning, I indicated when I mentioned about economic terrorism and urban banditry, I said what I have described elsewhere as economic banditry and economic terrorism, Honorable Speaker. Number two, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Mlly, as much as you have ruled her out of order, must then withdraw what she has said and apologize to the House.
Charging the Speaker I've had today is that if our friends, the Speaker, who led the demonstration cannot be satisfied with the loss of lives that we had in the Speaker, and they are calling for others on Monday, how many leaders, Mr. Speaker, how many liters of blood do they want to see, so that they stop this nonsense of demonstrating and testing life in this country? Mr. Speaker, if we have to bring down the demands they have given us, Mr. Speaker, it's very okay. We have no problem with it. But Mr. Speaker, if for example, I was a candidate for Kabuchai, I floored a person. If that person goes to ask me to open the server, where do I get it? Where do I get the Speaker? Raila Odinga, Mr. Speaker, must tell us the truth. Honorable Uhuru, William Samuel Ruto does not have servers to open. Number two, Mr. Speaker, when we want prices of food to come down, prices of unga was 250, Mr. Speaker. In the last regime, they were keeping quiet. We have moved it down to 170. They are making noise, Mr. Speaker. Where do we want? And Mr. Speaker, finally, how do we bring down the price of food? If we don't go to the farm, we stay on the road, picketing and demonstrating. Now rains has come, and rains has come, we must go to the farms. Mr. Speaker, the last word I can say, if you lead demonstrations and you cannot control them, and you cannot control the thuggery they do, I can refer to him again, Honorable Raila, as a street robber who is causing problems in this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Because Majority Leader, you made your point.
Is the honorable member, in order to be calling us guys, especially given the debate that members have been preoccupied with about guys and women and cross-cutting issues about men and men and women. Mr. Speaker, you cannot call me a guy. I am straight. I have nothing against LGBTQI, but I am very straight. My husband is a man and I'm a woman. Don't call me a guy, please.
All right, I apologize.